How we doing, guys? What are we gonna do today? Let's do. I'm gonna import a list. I just imported this list right here from Binance, so I'm gonna just kind of go over and refresh my watch list. I guess start off with that. I haven't really done anything in the last couple of days, so just been swimming underwater. What's up, James? How you doing, bro? So what I want to do first is I'm going to go through BTC, ETH, Sol, XRP, Hype, the usual suspects. Then I'll go through some of the indexes. Let's go crypto. My boy's getting active. I see you, bro. I see you, brother. Did anybody get access to Woodsbot recently? I put the link up yesterday in case you guys didn't see. It's in my corner. I'll just scroll a little bit up. I gave access to a bunch of indicators and a bunch of automations. I'm going to probably use some of them today, so I just wanted to ask if anybody's got access. It's good for Confluence, so everybody that joins that link will automatically get access to the end of the month. Might extend it a little bit more for people in the group. But yeah, we'll go over BTC, see what is going on in the higher time frame, then go down to the lower time frame, and then we'll go from there. So I'm just going to draw my levels, bear with me, and then I'll give my input. We'll play some limits as well. We will go over some analysis, see what we think is going to happen, what we expect and anticipate to happen, create these plans beforehand, because then we'll set ourselves up for success in the future, especially when we're trading around this level right here. This is the level that I've been calling for. It is one that I was not patient for, however, hence why I say patience is always king. It's the hardest thing about trading, and you know, these things happen to the best of us, especially when you're playing limits and things happen overnight like that. It's kind of hard to time things always, all the time. And when price action chops around for weeks on end and does nothing, you start getting, you know, antsy and wanting to hop into positions and stuff like that. That's probably the last thing you should do. If you ever feel antsy to get into a position, you should probably not. And just be a little bit more patient. Reflect what's going on, reflect what could happen, etc., etc. But currently right now, we're over that 112 level. We did close the 1 day above 112, which is good. We retested this full level of demand and closed above it. So we like to see the closures above where these candles closed previous, especially on the 1 day. We're looking to close above. We'll see what happens today. We already swept the daily from yesterday and looking to close above it. Obviously, we still have 8 hours left to go until the daily closes. So you got to imagine people are going to enter their long positions and maybe take a position like this. You get easy validation, but you got easy validation last night before the low swept. And then you could obviously target this supply towards the upside. This is like the easiest position to take right here, which makes me think that we could potentially sweep them out, obviously. But there's definitely liquidity to the upside to take, in my opinion. I think we could get a pop up to at least 115. And the sad part about it is I'm in a long from 113. So, and I'm looking to close that break even. So I would look for this structure right here to get retested. If we are going to go up from this level, you can see we're battling with resistance at this previous high right here, which would be the beginning of this demand on the daily. So you got to imagine people that were bidding the top end of this daily demand and have bids down to the bottom, they're in a decent position, probably average out towards the middle. And really we're just holding very, very, very slightly above it. So that tells me that I'm pretty much chilling. I'm already in positions that are underwater. I already took an L on ETH. Granted, I do think ETH can give some upside. That didn't play out. Just clean up things. I'm going to go through really quick, and then I'll take some questions, see what you guys got to say, and then look at some other charts. But right now, I just want to gauge a bias. Obviously, the most important thing firsthand is to get a bias. And how do I do that? I look at the higher time frame, then go down to the lower time frame, see what levels were tested, see what levels I think can test, and so on and so forth. ETH traded in this range right here for about 5 to 6 weeks here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks before it rejected down below and swept that low from the beginning of September. And we're currently doing that right now. If you were patient for that sweep, you got in a good position. Obviously, I said yesterday that I like that sweep. You can see that level. That's that heavy candle close down here. Almost a flat candle close completely. We had that flat candle close. Then we swept it before continuing up and went up only until we finally swept it down yesterday. Again, it happened really early, so it happens. I don't think anybody could have really called the exact time of that drop, except Mikkel, because Mikkel's an absolute beast. I do like these previous highs here on Ethereum. I like that 39.40 level. What's up, Danzo? Good to see you, bro. What's up, Flo? Good to see you too. I do like this 39.40 level. I'll go more on that soon. Obviously, it's that previous high. We do have one-day demand by 3,700 as well. That has yet to get tested. And a lot of these levels are just higher time frame levels that just haven't hit yet, right? Because, again, we're trading within this level, this range, and we're still closing within it. So you got to imagine, like, we got the low end right there. We got the high end right here. And now we're holding a little bit above the low end. Granted, if you weren't playing, let's say, anything here, then you got to pick your spots here. If you're patient here and you're not trading leverage, then this is your level to play. And if you're not in positions, I guess taking an entry right here with your stop below the low can be a winning position. But, again, is it too easy of an invalidation? I don't know. I'm not in right now, so I'm not really going for any side. I'm only in a BTC long trying to get out break even. And that's really all that I'm aiming for intraday. Hey, Woods, I hope you're well and could find a nice house, bro. I appreciate you, Rocco. Every house that I've looked at does not want to house me, if that makes sense. I've already put offers in. I got declined like 4 times. I'm not even getting a bad offer either. So, damn, I haven't streamed in a minute. I'm trying to get a rhythm here, guys. So, on BTC, obviously, my analysis was wrong. I thought we were going to hold higher first, which we didn't. I'm going to place some levels here that I think have some importance to them, and then we'll set actual limits. Just kind of feel like we're not in a position and act like we're starting from scratch, which we realistically are. A lot of my plans were invalidated when that drop happened, obviously, especially on hype and stuff like that, but we're going to go over that in a bit. A few levels that I'm going to draw, obviously. We have this previous push towards all-time high. I think this is the initial push of all-time high at that 123 mark. I'm going to post a level there for obvious reasons. On the one day, we did, in fact, sweep this level. And we closed just about around it and above it. So I don't even think we printed an SFP around that level. Yeah, we didn't print an SFP around that level on the 1 day. On the 3 day, however, we printed an SFP on the previous candle right here. So that candle that closed on the 1 day above all-time high, we then swept it on this 3 day and closed below it. So that's an SFP in itself. Granted, it's a really low SFP because it rejected and went down straight to 117. So if you're entering a short right here and putting your invalidation, like where are you going to put it, right? It's kind of hard to put invalidation here. A lot of people thought we were going to get that 118 push after this happened. After this drawdown here. And we didn't quite get that. We got around... we did get 118, right? We did get 118. I can't say we didn't. We got like 117.8. So we got really close to it and just rejected. We were anticipating this demand on the 3 day before eventually closing this flat candle within and below that closure of demand that we should have been forming for a push at least back upwards. And anybody anticipating that demand, placing longs for a push back up, were either stopped out or underwater of their positions. And now we're trading at that one-day demand, like I just said previous. I like to draw these demands with a rectangle just to see and visualize this candle order block that I'm trading in. Just to visualize it again, we're trading below it. So we want to see a push back above it. Maybe see an hourly close above. That would give me some confidence. Maybe start seeing like some smaller time frame candles closed above. You can see we closed that 30-minute above, but then ultimately rejected, retested, came back above, and now we're looking to push above it. We did sweep these highs from the morning, early morning, and close below, so that's an SFP in itself. But again, which position you take in ultimately, immediately, you got to imagine people are taking a short with their stop above that high or long with their stop below that low. And right now you're getting about the same risk to return if you were to take a long here with your stop below that low and a short here with your stop above that high. You're getting about the same RR. If I'm not already in positions off sweeps, I don't really like to trade this. This is a coin flip in my opinion for what position can pay immediately. If we do sweep towards these lows at around 112.3, that's one level that I would be interested in playing if it didn't already retest. Yeah, we did get kind of close to it, so not really looking to place intraday bids. We didn't retest 112.3, we retested 112.4. So I'm not really interested in leaving intraday bids right now. I'd be more interested in leaving sweep bids for either a long or a short. More for alts as opposed to BTC on its own. I'd rather just see what BTC has to do from here and the things that present itself when it comes to closures, sweeps, levels tested, what I think could happen next, what I think could happen after that. I'd like to really wait and see what's going to happen before I make my next decisions. Granted, I have some plans, but nothing really concrete. Like, again, we could draw a level around this low just for visual representation. We had the structure consolidate above for a little bit before eventually printing divergence, I would assume, around this level. One can only assume some divergence is printed here. We got some 4-hour divs printed before the ultimate rejection. With the RSI tuned in on the 4-hour, I do see maybe a case where an intraday bid could fill here before it pushed back up to the 50. And that would maybe go like this. I don't want to say that we're not going to sweep the low from this morning because that would mean that you could take an easy invalidation long here with your stop directly below that low. And I don't really want to do that again because I'm not in a sweep position. And when I'm not in a position, I like to see what could happen if I'm targeting that other position. So if we were looking for a short realistically, we would look for a short about this supply box, right? That's where I would look for a short. So if we are going to hold this level like I anticipated previous, and if I was in that position like I anticipated previous at around that 112 level, then I would be just playing it out. I would be riding it out here. I would have my position down low, and I would be okay with this level chopping before something would happen because this would have been my level of extremity. That being said, I don't like the lower time frame PA, the PA that is being shown right here. I don't really like that, and I don't really see a reason to risk a lot, even if you are taking positions on leverage. We do have some lower time frame divergences that have played out already, meaning that they've already reached the high that they've printed at. Like right here. All right. You got this hourly divergence here. You got a slight divergence there when it swept that low. And it already played out. So it already reached the 50. It has already reversed. And price has already tapped the top end of demand. So if you were in on this sweep, that's a good level to maybe move your stop losses up. And if I'm thinking that if I took a position on the sweep that I would already move my stop losses up, why would I even enter a long here to risk with my stop below that low? It wouldn't make sense. You would have to put your stop below that level of demand, in my opinion. because we could still sweep that low again. We could still retest the low end of demand before pushing back up maybe. And I don't really see any immediate reactions for me to do anything else here when it comes to lower time frame. A lot of, the hourly div is tripled up on BTC. We're directly at the 50. Good analysis, DB. Definitely something that I was already looking at. 113.3, I think, is going to give at least one more rejection. I can agree with that. Let's pull up some heat maps and see if we could gauge more confluence somewhere else. That's another confluence that I like to use when I'm unsure. All right. Is I like to see what the heat maps are telling me, because I do trade a lot of liquidity. So let's see what's... So, I mean, the heat map, for me, looks like it wants to take licks from the upside. We're pretty tight every time we've consolidated recently. So when the moves do happen, they happen pretty quick, as we saw what happened yesterday in the morning. I do like that 116.5. It goes in line with what I'm thinking. Again, I'm kind of just flicking through heat maps just to paint my confluence and make myself feel a little bit more comfortable. So it's not really like I'm thinking we're going to go in either direction immediately. Again, like intraday, we can really go either way here. 113.4, 111.8. Either one I think can get hit. I think there's no real safe position here. You could take intraday and think you're super confident with it, which is the reason why I'm not really entering anything intraday right now. If you would have caught some pops in the morning, there was like a few pops on alts, maybe 1% or 2%, but nothing really concrete for me wanting to hop in a position immediately. And that's kind of what the heat maps are telling me for BTC as well. I'm not really swayed in either direction here. Let's see if I can visualize this heat map for you guys. 16.5. 16.5 is a little bit above this level. If I was looking for an immediate position here and I'm thinking something's going to fill intraday, then I'm really just looking for a closure above this level again. I would assume that it's okay to bid depending on where we close, especially if we start to close above this box. I would probably just look for a rebid like above these lows somewhere, assuming that we take out shorts here, come back down, maybe go back up, and then take out shorts there. I think this would be a good level 2 short. I think anywhere around 116.5, 117, I think that could get tested. Maybe the lower end of this level. So I'll look for some shorts here. I'm not super confident 2-place limits, so I'm going to steer away from that. Just kind of let my chart speak to me in a bit. Ethereum as well. I like this low sweep again. Same thing I said previous. I do like the 3,700 level. That's the top end of this demand level here. And I like that 39 level as well. I really like that 39 level. Let's see if I can place some limits here. I just don't feel comfortable. Whenever I don't feel comfortable placing limits, I just like to chill. Again, like patience is... I think I've done a good job of being patient through the summer and the beginning of September. Didn't do a great job of that over the weekend, but that's people's... Like, I think people try to get rich off leverage, especially when they're starting. And I think that it's okay to compound gains. Like, even I don't try to aim for home runs all the time. Like, people think that everybody has to trade with a six-figure... people have to get six-figure positions every single trade on leverage. Like, that's not the case. Like, I'm okay making a few $1,000s in a trade. Or even like a really nice swing. I'm okay with making a good amount of money and then just compounding that. That's my game on leverage. I don't aim for home runs all the time. If they come, they come. But for me, I'm okay with being patient, allowing levels to play out, especially when I've taken losses. He's yapping about computer spending. The most important, tables stay in the game long enough to leverage again. Yeah, exactly, Shah. I think a lot of people think that it's easy to get rich on leverage. When in reality, like if you were playing leverage way back in the day, like these runs up on Ethereum, like these are times to make a lot of money in leverage. Even here, this is a good time to make money in leverage. But like to have the confidence to hold this through the whole way up, you know what I'm saying? Like that's not me either. Like I'm not holding a $1,500 leveraged position on Ethereum and swinging it up to $4,200. Like I'm not doing that. That's not what I'm doing. I'm taking profit at the top end of this range, and I'm happy doing so. I'm happy doing so. I'm quite happy. If I took like 100 ETH position here at 1,500, I'm riding that to 2,500, 2,100. I'm okay closing that, man. I'm fine closing that. But for now, we want to see Ethereum on the lower time frame. I know you want a position, brother. I know. There's nothing like I hate more than feeling I gotta hop in a position like right now. I'd rather just kind of see what's happening like I am now. And then when these levels hit, I understand why I did it. Like on Ethereum right here. When I'm looking at the lower time frame, I like this right here. I just like the confluence in price wanting to go up here, doing what it does here, retesting whatever that is. That should be the top end of this level. Retested there. And then we wanted to reclaim this range, but we retested below it. So whatever happened on that wick, I think is interesting. And we retested very close to it. If we were to go down and retest this level, I would be more comfortable entering intraday right here, around 41.0758. I would place an intraday limit around there. I'll place an intraday limit with us. But we do have this wick we can play around. So we can keep our invalidation around 39.97. And then maybe start to look for a retest at around 33.75. I think that's fair. I think that's a fair assumption that we can say price will retest here before going up here. And if it's going to retest here, where do we target next? Up here. I think this is a fair play. And I think you can comfortably look for shorts at around this level as well. I think this is a good level when it comes to the higher time frame for price to respect and maybe not nuke all the way from. Right? We've already nuked straight through it, so let's see if maybe price can. Let's see if price can maybe rehabilitate up towards that level. So this will be my main intraday outlook, I would say, for Ethereum. Would be nice if I could place an alert for it. What? And low EP assuming we go lower. I don't know if we're going to go lower right now first. I'm thinking we're going to go higher before lower, but that means like I don't think we're going to sweep this low first on Ethereum before we go higher. Like I think we could get 43.75. Let's take a look at some other alts, see what they're saying, because Ethereum right now doesn't really look all that great. Does not mean that it can't look good in the next couple hours. All right, I think a lot of people are waiting for certain candle closures, and I think they're right doing so. And right now, I'm just going to go quickly on everything. I'll look through questions. If anybody has questions or anybody wants to look at anything specific, you could just let me know what chart you want me to look over, and I'll look over it. But right now, I just want to look. Yeah, I'm going to go over hype. I have an outlook on hype. The outlook that I have on hype makes me think that it's not going to hit, but we're definitely going to go over it. So XRP is trading directly below resistance. I think that if you want to short alts, like XRP is one that potentially could pay. I don't know if you guys remember last month, at the end of last month, I wanted XRP at around 230. And I like that a lot for longs, especially on leveraged. Makes me think that it never hits. But that's one level that I really like for longs is this 230 level. And I think that if you catch a short anywhere from like I don't want to say aggressively short 293. I don't think that's the right move, but it can be. It can definitely be the right move. I've seen it so many times where like good levels that you want to get tested, like $3, 303, right? Like 303 would be a nice short in my opinion. If we go up to 303 right now, like it could get really bullish looking, and then we could potentially go up to take these highs, just depending on what happens in the market. Especially if BTC wants to go for like 117, then I think XRP will probably take easy invalidations out. Like people will have their stops over here at around 304, maybe a little bit higher, like around these highs, and they'll get taken out. I don't know if that's the plan, but a lot of aggressive shorts like this usually pay. And then people look to short the drawdown with their invalidations above where we are right now. And that's usually the right move. That's usually the move that I wait for. After we've already retested the high we got to take, because there's a high we got to take somewhere. Where's it going to be? You got to imagine like people that were anticipating shorts here were anticipating it for quite some time, depending on what momentum they saw and depending on what type of liquidity was coming in. So people short this level with easy invalidations above these highs. And we broke down. So we got to imagine we're going to take these out first. That's what I would think, right? So if I was looking to place a short on anything, I like XRP for a short, but I like it more in this box. I wouldn't go super aggressive at 293. But if we do test my level up and you don't want to put a limit there, then I would look for a short on the flip down. So maybe we start pushing up soon, take out these highs, and then print the lower high before continuing back downwards. Then you could enter here with a safe invalidation above these highs. I like that as well for a play if you don't want to set a limit, but I'm going to set a limit for XRP on the short side, targeting some downside, at least around this wick. At least. Even though we've already tested and swept it, I want to think that we're going to go down there soon again. Again, assuming that people rebid these wicks already, and I wasn't already in from that sweep. And if I'm not in from the sweeps, I got to imagine, like, what would I do if I was? If I was in these sweeps already, my stops already moved up. My stops already moved up, for sure. There's no reason we should be testing that for a long, in my opinion. So that's what I would do. I like this for a play. Kind of goes in with the 50 here on the RSI. All right. See what the Monday range is doing as well. So that's the Monday high. Yesterday. Okay, wow. I didn't even know yesterday was Monday. Holy shit. Please bear with me, guys. I know I'm going a little slow today. My head's a little bit in the cloud just because I haven't looked at a chart in a while. I didn't even want to look at it yesterday after what happened. I was just like, let me just let these things play out as they do. And I'm so underwater on BTC, and that's not even funny. We almost got stopped out last night, too, which sucked. Take a look at Wolfie. Yes, for sure. I'm going to take a look at Hype. I'm going to take a look at WLFI. I saw a lot of people chattering about that. We'll take a look at Astra as well. I know a lot of people play that now. Hype is priority. Woods, can you take a look at OG? What's OG? I've never even heard of OG. CRV, Merlin, that's a good one. I was looking at CRV earlier. I actually like CRV for a play, like, immediately, too. So maybe we could look for longs on CRV. But, yeah, I like to see the Monday range after I've already analyzed things. And this is what it's telling me. Oh, wow. I actually updated my shit, and that's why it's not letting me put alerts. That makes sense. So I would actually really like this play. So let's enough talking. Let's do more placing. So XRP short limit 297 to 3. Let's say 301. I think 301 is a good spot. 3008 with my stop at. I think 308 is a good stop. I don't think it should even go there if it's going to get rejected from. So we'll do that. I think when people get misconstrued as well, when they start to do their analysis, is they don't do their top down. They don't even look to form a bias. And that's one thing that if you're journaling or something right now, that I would just put form a bias. Even I'm taking notes here, and I'll put the notes later for you guys. It's just important to form a bias first, especially if you're not in a position like I am or you're underwater. Just form a bias. You got to do your top-down analysis first, and then from there start to pick apart the charts and then place your limits. But right now, this is what I see on XRP. This is what I'll play. This is what I like. And we'll even set our alert right here. I got to do it on my phone. Hold on. And then we'll go on to the next. Wow, this is all out of order. Is this Aster? No, it can't be. And WLFI. Alright, so I got 4 coins we're going to look at here. But before we do that, let's take a look at these indexes really quick. Huh. So my original analysis was the top end. It gets so hard to read these charts sometimes because like I wasn't up while that was happening. So I couldn't even really catch this breakdown here. I couldn't really think anything here because I was sleeping when these levels tested. But I mean, you see how beautiful that demand level got tested. That was pretty much my level of retest for alts already. Like I just can't enter longs anticipating higher right this minute because we could always just retest lower. We could always just retest lower first. But again, like when I look at these 4-hour candles, we've already retested lower and have already continued up. So we shouldn't retest lower in theory, but few of the alts are stronger than, like if you wanted to play, I don't know, some random ass coin, like some random coin that's not bullish at all. I don't know, AVE. I haven't heard a lot about AVE. I'm just going to say AVE for the sake of the video. But like AVE, if you were to play AVE over like Hype or AVAX or XRP, like there's not a lot more volume coming in. So I feel like you're just not playing a coin that's going to even remotely read this chart or reflect it. Like you want to play coins that are going to reflect what these indexes are doing. And that's usually the coins with volume that were previously bullish. Again, like Wolfie, like Hype, I guess. I mean, Hype got absolutely destroyed, but coins like that I feel like are going to move with Total 2 and these other indexes. I had an opinion that we might have retested lower here, but that would have like just retested the move that happened in August, and I don't know if that is where this extreme is going to take us. That being said, we're going to just think logically and think what can happen. There's nothing wrong with making an opinion. And anybody that tries to tell you otherwise is just angry with their own trading probably. So now we have this previous level of resistance here, obviously. We have been consolidating above it. I've put in a couple of retests, and we're still above it. So, I mean, we're still above and consolidating above a good and a fair level. If we do retest this level, I would assume that it would be a good level to buy. I would assume we're not going to go too much lower than that. And if we do, then, I mean, our next target would realistically be this level of demand, which would tune in with that XRP analysis, in my opinion. It would be close to the yearly open. And if we're going to test this level of demand, you got to imagine we're just going to target the yearly open as well, maybe. So that would happen on a cascade or capitulation. That being said, we have yet to see something like that. And that, I think, is thinking pretty extreme. ETH BTC, we made this analysis a little bit ago. It's been chopping around for quite some time. We have swept that low of the flat candle, I would assume, on the pairing. No. So we printed a higher low, just front ran on the pairing, trading around yearly open, assuming that yearly open is going to get tagged first. That's where my assumption would be. And for USDT as well, like we're printing an inverse head and shoulder. I would say that's the chart pattern that we're holding. We printed a higher low at the right shoulder that I drew out a little bit ago. I mean, if USDT is bullish, that's not good for the market, especially in the immediate term, because we're just going to go down when USDT goes up. So just want to reflect those really quick, just kind of gauge what's going on and see what's happening. You can see when we do bounce for USDT, the reaction it has on the market, right? We reject. So always keep your eye on these indexes. I mean, even SPX just inching up. Like, you know, it's scary the higher up it gets. I want to show you guys actually a fucking... I want to show you guys a fractal that I was looking at. See if it interests any of you guys. Post it up on the screen just a sec. I don't know if you guys want this stream post on YouTube today, but I'll post it up. Again, I know I'm dragging today more than most days, so I appreciate you guys sticking here. I'm going to do streams more than one time this week, so we'll definitely be a little quicker. You see this fractal right here? So this is S&P from 2018. This is when 2018. Trump got into office in 2018, right? Let's see. $2016. Okay. Good. So Trump got in office in 2016. And this is what was happening in 2018, right? Let me just open that up. So 2016, it ran up, obviously, and we had this price action before it ultimately nuked and came back up and just continued up higher. I think that fractal that I posted on the screen, I'm going to show it again. It's pretty interesting for what's happening right now. Granted, again, I'm trying to compare it to his presidency right now. And he just got into office again earlier this year. I think that we're going to continue to run up, and then eventually we're going to get a sell-off like this. You can see how high we're getting. I think this is pretty similar. I think when you do a side-by-side analysis of what's going on, I think it's pretty similar of what's happening right now. And, I mean, fractals, obviously you don't want to take every fractal. You want to take every fractal with a grain of salt, obviously. But that being said, you know, it looks pretty similar. Thought that was pretty interesting. All right. 2017 was inauguration? Okay, so it was 2017. So, I mean, we're approaching that, like, 1 year mark early next year. And I thought that was pretty interesting. So, something to keep an eye on, obviously. So, let's get back to work. Dude, a lot of these charts are such, like, stupid-ass charts to look at. I'm not even gonna, like, Hemi. What the fuck is Hemi? What is this shit? And why is it up 70%? You know? Like, what the fuck is this? It's a cartel coin, obviously. So for hype, obviously hype, we're going to take a look at. It's important for me to take a look at this chart. I always trade this coin. Is this the right hype chart? Oh, there. Okay. Let's use this chart. So on the 3-day for hype, I really liked how this demand was forming, hence why I was looking to bid so aggressive, right? Like over the weekend, I had a position right down here, and I got nuked on. I thought we were going to hold this wick low. We were holding it like all day, and then we eventually just rejected straight through it. It was my mistake for not really taking those signs into account. A lot of my limits usually, like the top ends, usually fill. And if we do full fill, it bounces relatively quick. Whenever my limits fill full and come back up to retest entry, and it's a like underwater entry for a minute, it's usually time to close that position. And I just, I was pretty stubborn, I would say, over the weekend with my trading. So these two lows interest me right here. I think that anywhere in this range for hype would be a good bid. I like these previous highs getting tested. Let me see what else I like. I like this 4-hour demand here. So what do I mean by 4-hour demand for people that don't know? Demand is when, let's say like we're chopping around this little area right here. All right. And people are entering longs, entering shorts clearly. And then when we push up towards this level of resistance, clear level of resistance, right? Structure broke. This is your structure. Whenever we're above this level, usually good. Broke down below, traded under, came back above, closed above, moved up. So that's a clear level of resistance. Would want to see structure start to form around and above that level if you're anticipating upside. We're at resistance. People are long at this level, and they are looking to actively bid hype, which is why when we move down on that wick, it then flips up directly because people have their bids. So people are leaving liquidity down in these levels. And that's what your level of demand is. It forms after that impulse wick. So when this candle impulses up, you then leave people's bids behind. So when that level comes down to test, it should move back up. One thing that I do want to say about the levels of demand is that when they do come close like this, that the second time around, they usually slice straight through. That being said, with hype, we have yet to see this level tested in quite some time. The one thing I don't like about that level is that it's within a flat candle. So there's a flat candle low down there that I think could get swept before. And judging by what happened to hype over the weekend, I think that could for sure happen. I think that could happen. We're seeing Aster take a lot of liquidity and take some spotlight off of hype, in my opinion. So that could fuel that move down to sweep that candle low even more so. I would say even start to open up your Fibonacci's. I use Fibs whenever these macro levels start to test. And that to me is where the golden pocket lands, is right below the sweep. So if I was looking to actively get long on hype, I like this scenario, but I like a sweep scenario even more. Granted, it could take a lot of patience. If we start to close above 48.97, this level that it already resisted at, then we start to target some high sweeps. And we could target a structure retest. All right. So a lot of these like longs that we're taking are pretty aggressive TPs when it comes from like a swing standpoint, quote unquote. 6% goes along with my Ethereum longs. I think hype can give way for that type of push as well. I can see like a quick wick coming up on hype take out some shorts and reject right away. So that's probably what I'll be looking at. Like intraday, if I was trying to get long, we've already exhausted my confluences. We've already printed this RSI on that sweep. We've already printed that divergence. We've already swept these lows, so the next lows are down here. I mean, intraday, like if I am looking to get long, logically, I'm thinking like that 44.30 level is going to be better. Right now, you're just looking for sweeps, liquidity, right? Like that's what we're trading, obviously. You're looking to trade what coins are bringing in volume, what coins people are actively trading. And hype is one of them, so would for sure keep my eye on that. I don't have any exact immediate reactions for that one other than that. So I'm going to just kind of leave it there. I don't really have limits that I want to post. I don't have nuke limits. I would rather just see what happens intraday and go from there. CRV I like. I know somebody brought it up. Why do I like it? Let's see. I'm going to take a look at Hemi, Aster, UX, Link, XPL. You missed some bangers, bro. Telling me. I need to put on your guys' notifications. How high can hype go before lower time for a drop? Really quick. I think that hype can retest this level. We've already... See, these wicks are so weird, man. These wicks should not be testing so aggressively on that drawdown. I did not expect that for hype. I did not expect this. I did not expect it to even, like, okay, I took the loss on that, but I wouldn't expect this to come back up here, test like that so aggressively before continuing down. Like, I didn't expect that either. That's pretty aggressive. Invalidation up here. You're shorting for sweeps. So you're shorting for that, you're shorting for that, you're shorting for that. So you got to imagine, like, people are still in a short right here, and their invalidation was here. This is where supply is. So if we are going to hold, like if you're taking a long for hype with your invalidation below the low, you should be targeting this supply. You should be targeting a high sweep here. And I would say anywhere from like 50, 30 to 51 to 51, 5102, right? This is where you should be targeting for shorts, in my opinion, or long profits. I think that people get super attached to their positions as well, which is the reason why they don't profit and they don't compound their gains, because they don't have any gains to compound, if that makes sense. What's up, Mastiv? How you doing, my brother? So yeah, let's look at CRV here. I like CRV at around that 59 level. I think that could be a good level to get long on it. Granted, I don't think a lot of people are playing it right now. We do have a cheeky higher low that we could put in there. I think that it's a good level that if you're patient, you can catch a good swing on. You can catch even further liquidations down at that level. I think that would be a good catch. Aster, let's take a look at that. Aster's at all-time high right now. That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, it retested a good level. Really good level. I haven't looked at this chart yet, by the way. If you guys learn with Pocky, this is pretty much what he teaches you as well. This is really good for when charts first open. They're producing a lot of volume. People are looking at Fibonacci's. They're looking at retracements. They're looking at the golden pocket, obviously. So, I mean, let's just see how it played around it. Obviously, I saw price action beforehand, but I didn't really look too deep into it. I just want to see if it even sliced down below it. Yeah, it did slice it. And then it printed the higher low right here. So this should be the low. I don't think it should go lower than that. Okay, it did go lower than that. So it consolidated the fibs before pushing back up. That's pretty good. That's really good. Means that it's respecting levels. So people are obviously playing the fibs. All right. So the next level of demand is right where the daily opened. And that's where you can imagine should be a good spot to bid. I like Astra at that level. Like if I was to bid Astra, it would be around this daily demand here. 174 to 169. I'll put a limit for that. I don't know if it's going to hit, but I'll put a limit for it. It'd be a pretty aggressive drop if it does. Not gonna lie, guys, I'm pretty unsure. You could hear it in my voice too. Like usually I'm not so unsure like this. I'm pretty unsure what's gonna happen intraday. And it's okay. Like that's fine. There's been plenty of times where I was unsure what's gonna happen. And just let things happen. And then after that, you take some plays. It's okay to be chill. It's okay. I placed a limit for Aster and I placed a limit for XRP on a short. I think those are the only two plays I'm going to really entertain right now. I'm not interested in anything on BTC until the 1 day closes. Granted, I do like this level, and this is my level previous. This is what I like for Aster, and then we'll take a look at Wolfie. And I think I'm going to call it there, guys. I might even hop on a stream later just because I don't really like where my analysis brought me here. Granted, there's not much going on, so maybe that's why. Wolfie, is this Wolfie again? I don't really look at this chart. This chart is wanky. I thought people were playing this. I thought this was bullish. Lower time frame this looks shit. Like absolute shit. Doesn't look like people are playing this. Looks like it needs to drag a little bit more down. I mean, just judge it by the fibs. Like, if you're playing Wolfie, like 1.81617 is a good level to bid. I don't think anywhere else is really worth entertaining along here. This thing looks like it just wants to go down more too. I mean, like, if you're gonna take a short here, your invalidation is pretty tight as well. I think the shorts are better right now for some things than longs, but I'm very unsure to get into things right now. Is John in Wolfie? I don't think he's in Wolfie now, bro. He was playing it over the weekend. Is he in it now? Oh. Guess he is. Guess he is. Oh, he's been in that trade for a few days now. Yeah, I mean, it's like me with my other plays, right? I'm in a long right now for like 3 days. Shitty. Wait, was it yesterday or today? I've been in plays for long times underwater recently, and I've been able to close break even. So I'm just hoping that I could kind of close my trades break even there and reevaluate. But yeah, from a trading standpoint, intraday, I don't think anybody should be rushing, guys. I think that we should be chill. We should be calm. I miss you. I'm glad you missed me. I'm happy you missed me. I am back for good. I am here to form biases and make plans and trade with you guys and do all the above. But right now, it's important that we be chill. Wolfie, hey, I like that. Wolfie. Trump, I'm not going to take a look at anything else, guys. I'm going to keep it chill, keep it calm, see what I want to play later. Right now, I'm just going to fucking watch things. I'm not going to fucking overcomplicate shit. What's up, Dan? See you, bro. If you guys have any questions, let me know. But I think October, like I said, is going to be a good fucking month. Exactly, Dan. I think October is going to be a good month. I planned this out for September. I was surprised my trading was so good. I'm not going to lie. I was surprised my trading was so good for September to begin with because I didn't think September was going to be an easy month. Not saying it was easy, but a lot of the plays I got and profited from like kept me in. Like FOMC, let's be real, we shouldn't have been in that play all day, and we profited from it nicely, as well as the SOL short. That was a nice one as well. But then we took it on some long. So, haha, I appreciate you, Denzel. Let's fucking get after it the right way. Keep it chill for now on leverage. I'm still holding all my ETH, by the way, at 3,100. Fucking hell. We'll get after it. Have a good day, guys. I'll talk to you guys soon.